Hi guys, it's Kelly Lanivola and I'm back with another video for Neat and Tangled. So today we're going to be using Cottontail Cuties and their matching dies, and then we are also going to be using Hello Spring and its matching dies. And I just store mine in the back of the packaging that matches the stamp set, and then that way I know which ones go together. So in that Hello Spring set, there is a large rectangle that has just a bunch of cute words about spring, butterflies, blue skies, flowers, all that fun stuff. And I thought that it would be cute to create a background for my little girl. You got a couple of super pale colors here. In fact, I might have gone too pale, but just any light colored inks that you have will work here. And then I'm going to ink these up with two different colors. And you might be worried about some cross contamination, but because they're all in lines, I could very easily see where one line started and one ended, so I wasn't that worried about it. So for this first one, I'm doing like a light aqua color and then a blue. And I may have chosen colors that were a little bit too pale because the light aqua color I couldn't even really see when I stamped it down just one time. And I don't even know really honestly that I've ever used this stamp before, so that may be what it was. But the Joy of the Misty, I just went ahead and stamped it twice, cleaned it off, and then I moved it. And this time I'm going to be doing a light pink and a yellow. The yellow is a little bit stronger than all of the other colors, definitely stronger than the pink, but again, it was no big deal. I inked it up with both, just paying attention to that line, and these are both so light. I mean, even if I had some cross contamination, I don't even think I'd notice. And then I did the same thing I did with the aqua color. I just re-inked the pink again, and then stamped that aqua color again to finish it off, which you'll see in just a minute. So spring is here. Hallelujah, praise Jesus. It's, I think, the 4th day of spring. Not that I'm getting any spring weather here. I'm not, because it snow sleeted, I think, the last 2 days. It's still in the 30s. So apparently Ohio just has not gotten the memo that it is in fact spring. But I think we're supposed to have like a 50 degree day tomorrow, which will be awesome because I'm hoping to get Peanut out on his bicycle that he got for Christmas that we have not yet been able to use. So here in the Cottontail Cutie set, there's a couple of different little girls, little bunnies. I just picked one of them that I thought would match the sentiment really well. And I am using Gina K Amalgam ink because it is Copic safe. So that way I can do some Copic coloring. And with my Copic coloring, I decided that I was going to concentrate on doing just 2 color blends. Just 2 markers. I know a lot of times my videos can seem overwhelming because I typically use 4 colors, but you can get results that you really love by not using all of those colors. Like, you can still get super cute results. So you just need to, in those situations, you just need to, I guess, really concentrate on where your shadows are going. So I always color as if my light source is in the top right hand corner. So in this situation, her hood would be casting shadows onto her face because the sun would be behind her. So I kept the majority of my shadows around her hair and her face. For her hair, same thing. I'm going to concentrate the darker areas where her hood is up because that would be, the sun would be behind her. It would be casting shadows onto her hair. I didn't want to just have completely dark hair though, so I did use some color variation in the front where her bangs are. Her little, I love this little bunny outfit. I think it is so cute. If I had had a little girl, I totally would have bought this. I didn't. I had a boy, and I'm pretty sure he won't wear this. Actually, what comes to mind is the Christmas Story. You look like a pink nightmare. That's what I think of. Even though it was cute, like as a mom, I can see how that would be super cute. So here for these shadows, again, everything's going to be pretty much on the left-hand side because the sun is on the right. And so first tip for just using a 2 color, well, I guess it's the second because I told you to concentrate on your shadows. The second tip is Copics are buildable, they're transparent, so you can keep layering colors to get darker pigments of the same color. So after you put it down, now I go lightest to darkest, and then in this case, I only have 2 colors, so then back to my lightest. just to blend it out. But the way her left arm is drawn, where you can see like the crook of her elbow, it's picked up the little basket or wagon, I'm sorry. I wanted that to be darker, but I also needed some dark shadows on the inside of her arm. I'm going to go back in with my second color, that C3, and add it in where I want it to be the darkest. So the crook of her arm, where her chin is kind of tucked down over her chest, and I'm going to add those colors back in, but I'm not going to blend them. So that's going to give me a little bit of differentiation. So the last time we had talked, we were talking about going to create, which Danielle and I did. And if you don't know, Danielle is the owner of Neat Tangled, and she is a friend of mine. And so yeah, we had a wonderful time. Got in there on Thursday. She and I both did. I arrived before she did, and the time that we had to set up was between 2 and 6. And she wasn't expecting to get in until 4:30. So once we could get into the room to set up the make and takes, I went over there to start setting up. And my card was Copic coloring. So I used the little bunny and trampoline from Jump for Joy, and then a little bit of stenciling to kind of pull the card together. And so we were setting up for that card for day one. I don't know. You tell me how you felt, because I felt like I couldn't really do a card that didn't have Copic coloring. Like if I was going to have the opportunity to meet you guys in person, I wanted to be able to talk to you about Copic coloring in case you had any specific questions. So we did my card the first day. The second day we did Danielle's, which her style is different from mine and is gorgeous. And so we did some multi-dimensional stamping, like first, second, third generation stamping. And that card was super cute as well. So yeah, got in there. Here's the first thing about Create that I've learned. I've done it 2 years. The first year I did the Neat and Tangled table by myself because Danielle couldn't make it. And then this year we did it together. First thing that I've learned about Create is Dunkin' Donuts is not readily available. The people down there love them some Starbucks, and it's hard to come by the Dunkin' Donuts. So I had Dunkin' Donuts on my way down there. I didn't drive. Eric drove me, because you guys all know I got driving anxiety, and so he was super sweet, and he drove me down there so I wouldn't have to drive myself, which was kind of nice because then he got to meet some of the girls, and they were very excited to meet him. But so I could not find Dunkin' Donuts to save my life. So I was drinking hotel coffee because that's what I had available to me. Except for, so on the first day of lunch, we did go to, where did we go? We went to Chick-fil-A. Oh man, I love Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is so delicious. The best thing on their menu is their breakfast chicken and biscuit. Oh my goodness. If you have not had that, find yourself a Chick-fil-A, get a chicken and biscuit. And then top it off with a lemonade. I love their lemonade. Their lemonade is so good. It's so good because it's like fair lemonade. You know, like when they like hand make it with the little shakers and all the sugar, and it's so yummy. So that is why I do love the Chick-fil-A. So we went to Chick-fil-A for lunch. And while the Chick-fil-A we went to was in the mall, which was not far from the convention center. So while we were in there, all they had was a Starbucks. So I went to the Starbucks because I didn't really have a choice, and I needed real people coffee and not hotel coffee. So that was the first thing that I've learned about Create. This is the second time I've done it, and coffee is very, very hard to come by. The second thing that I have learned in going to Create is it's so wonderful because not only do I get to like meet you guys and then see my friends, but I'm a little bit jealous. I gotta be honest, a little bit envious when I'm sitting there doing make and takes with you guys and everybody's coloring, but I can't color. Oh, this is another tip here. So even though you're using two colors, like I didn't like how pink her tummy was, so I went in there with a colorless blender. That's another thing that you can utilize, even if you're only doing two color blends, to get a little bit of variation. So I went in with my colorless blender and just kind of lightened up her belly a little bit, and then if you need to, you can go back into with your lightest color to blend that out. I'm going to do a little bit of white gel pen, like accents, and then I'm going to outline the whole thing. You guys know how we roll. So this is one of the funny things that happened to me while I was doing the make and takes. So day 2, we're doing Danielle's card, and we were using like gold paint. It was about a half an hour before like everything was done and over with, and we were running out of paint. So we decided to switch back to the card that we did the previous day, which was my card, to give people an opportunity to do that if they had missed it the day before. And so I was sitting there with these 3 women. And I always introduce myself when somebody sits down at the table. Hi, I'm Kelly, because I like to know your first names, because we're all friends here, and so I want to be able to call you by your first name. So they sit down. Hi, I'm Kelly. Nice to meet you. We do the first card. No, this was later. My apologies. This was later. We were doing Danielle's card at this time, and so sat down and was doing the card, and they were talking about Copic coloring, and I said, well, I did mine. My card was Copic coloring, but I did it yesterday. And so their names are Avra, Mary, and Claire. Okay, Claire is Mary's daughter, and they were all lovely. They were just wonderful women. And so we sit down, and they have Ohio Stamp Junkie pins on. And if you don't know what Stamp Junkies is, it's a group on Facebook where everybody gets together and just kind of really shares their inspiration. But I recently learned, I didn't know this, that there is a like a chapter branch that's just Ohio. And I think like 2 weeks before Create, I got an invite to it. And I was like, that's really cool. A bunch of crafters in Ohio. So like I joined up for that. And so they all had buttons on. And I was like, oh, that's so adorable. I love your little buttons. And so we're talking, and the Copic coloring gets brought up, like that was my card. And she says, can I see the card from yesterday? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I'm like looking in the box to find the sample, and I'm struggling because, we got a lot of supplies, a lot of products for 2 different cards. And so I'm bent over. I'm not looking at them, bent over into the box. And here's the other thing that I did here. So I cut the spring die has 2. It has a outline and then it has a script. And the outline was blending too much into the background with the white. So I actually just took the light blue color and I just smushed it all over that. And then I let it dry. So that way I could change the color of my cardstock and it would match the pigment in the background that I had already stamped. So anywho, I'm in the box. And she was like, sample, whatever. And she was like, or you can just tell me your name so I can look it up. And I said, I didn't take a picture of it. It isn't posted anywhere. Still facing the box, guys. And I said, but my name is Kelly Lativola. And both of them were like, and I thought somebody had dropped their ink pad on their card. Like I was like, oh my goodness, what is wrong? Like, how can we fix this? What is the situation? We'll start over if we have to, even though I'm not a proponent of that. And like, they were both like, I didn't know it was you. I can't believe I didn't recognize your voice, which was just like the most hysterical thing ever, because you guys know, I feel like I'm just a regular person, like everybody else is a regular person. And so that their response to me was like, just shock, was absolutely hysterical. And we laughed about it. They honestly scared me. She frightened me, because we were using black pigment ink, and that I don't even know how to, like, I don't normally use black pigment ink, so I wouldn't even know how to clean that up. But anywho, so they were tons of fun. And then later on, I saw them when we had switched back to doing mine from yesterday, and they were just standing in a group chatting. And I went over and told them, hey, if you wanted to do the Copic one, it's available. We got it back out. So they came over and we went through our little Copic lesson with the 3 of us, and they were all super delightful, and it was great to meet that. It was great to meet all of you. But yeah, so that was just one of my little fun little stories from Create. Here, I've popped everything up on foam. I just foamed the daylights out of everything. And so the little girl's already down. Here, I'm pulling off all the little pieces, parts for the word spring. I like the script. I really like the blue behind it, because you know how I feel about blue. And so now I'm just going to put like the embossed labels around it. Here's where I ran into the issue. So I couldn't find a place that I wanted to put this because it was just too big. So I just went ahead and cut my label. So the stamp is, you know, one stamp. It says in my step. You put a spring in my step. The in my step part is one stamp. And so I just cut it in half so I could fit the G in between. And I was pretty happy with the way that that came out. Then I used our clear mix to just kind of tie everything in because it did feel a little bit empty space-ish underneath the sentiment in between the girl. And then I'm just going to go in with some clear Wink of Stella on all the eggs and the little pink parts. And that's it. Like, that's the whole card. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.